When I first met Joel, he looked like a real banker. He was tall and lean and blue-suited and good-looking and perfectly charming. And he was the full package.
Joel Smith had that unique characteristic of being able to draw people to him.
This is an organized guy who keeps going forward. He picks his goals, figures them out, does a collaborative process, and then he gets on down the road.
If you've got a job that you want to have done, the best person you would go to would be Joel Smith.
As I think about how my corporate experience helped me in the business school, the first thing you think about is there's a lack of similarity.
The school was in great need of a strong leader, and Joel came in and provided that. He was the first dean that we had that was a non-academic.
When he took the Moore School job, at least me personally and most of my colleagues in the business community thought that was the best choice that they could possibly have made.
He had to prove to the academic world, i.e. the professors and what have you at the business school, that he was good, that he knew what he was doing.
He really was smart enough to know that faculty sometimes are difficult to manage. And the difference in a manager and a leader is very obvious, and Joel was the leader. Sometimes I told him he needed hazard pay.
One of the things I did that touched a lot of different areas was to bring a culture of enablement. And what I mean by that is enabling people who are in positions of responsibility and leadership and allowing them to be in charge as opposed to having management by committee.
If you had a question to ask, he always took time. And it was interesting that he often asked you a lot of things about what you were doing, why, and how.
He got them fired up about what their roles are, not just being academicians, but being contributors to the community around them.
At the end of the day, you have to produce a qualified, well-prepared graduate who can go out in the world and distinguish themselves.
Joel came to visit Richard and me here at the farm one day and brought a sketch of a renovation of the existing building. My late husband and I had a discussion with Joel right here at the farm, sitting in this very room, about the need for a new business school because what we had was woefully out of date. Richard and I talked, and Richard said, well, why don't we do something?
The phone rang, and it was Darla Moore. And she first admonished me because she couldn't find me all day, and I said, well, sorry about that. And she said, been thinking about all of what y'all been talking about with this facility issue, that we really need to upgrade our facilities. And Richard and I have decided to give you $45 million to help you do that.
It was going to cost 90, and we said we'll do half of it. And that was the second contribution we made to the university, was the result of Joel Smith coming to this farm and sitting in this room and talking about the need for a new building and us saying we would like to help.
Needless to say, that's memorable. I never forget it. And that was more than anything else what started the whole process that led to the building I'm sitting in right now.
You really can't talk about Joel and what he's meant to the school, to the community, without talking about Kit.
I truly love both of them. And when I think of Joel, I think of Kit. When I think of Kit, I think of Joel.
That pairing of those two is the most powerful force of husband and wife that I know of in South Carolina.
I think that Joel is truly deserving of this award because of who he is.
He set a momentum in place that the following deans really had to keep going. I'm sure they wanted to, but they really had no choice.
What he was the right man at the right time in the right situation.
He has done so much for the state of South Carolina, and particularly the Moore School of Business.
Aside from it being a great surprise, it validates that my time here was well spent, that it mattered. It's wonderful to from the outside now look in and say, gee, I was a part of that. You know, I used to be there. And I can proudly say that I was dean of the Moore School.